Welcome back to One Comic Book a Day, where we're covering Superman 85 and the third story, The Weakling Who Became Superman. A story I like on principle and what it's trying to do, not so much the execution. But to be fair, I'm not really a fan of all of the execution in the Golden Age. For the most part, even the stories I love aren't particularly, great stories compared to where comics are going. But they're great for this time. This one I like, but there's a lot of caveats with that. So essentially, the story is about a professor named Casper Snelling, who is like your average man. He's a bit short, though. He's not particularly all that strong. He's a bit of a coward in some ways. He's supposed to be Nevish, the mild mannered reporter, essentially. And he feels kind of disrespected by both his students, who all run to the window to see Superman flying by, and his girlfriend, who doesn't seem to really want to marry him and then kind of compares him to Superman. So he's really taking it on being compared to, the man god, which is just unfair to everybody. So he decides to do something about this. So this is one of those stories where someone else apparently has Superman's powers. But it's going to turn out he just built a robot copy of himself that can do what Superman can, because it's 1950s and building robots seems to be the trend of the era. I mean, I love building the robots, but yeah, he builds a robot, showing how smart he is. He could be a supervillain, especially the fact that this robot can copy Superman's powers. So it goes around doing things, but the story doesn't spend a lot of time on this. The idea being is it doesn't really know how to control its powers or use them well. So it picks up a truck, but Superman complains that he's going to easily drop the truck and it's going to cause a problem. They don't put in a lot of work on the whole problem part because they want to get to the rest of the story. So it's a very small moment of Superman just kind of internal monologue complaining. I would have liked to be shown it doing something wrong, like it being on a bridge and the bridge about to collapse because of how it's dealing with the situation. This feels way too much like telling, not showing, in what is a visual medium. But where the story goes is Superman to stop the whole robot thing, is for Superman to convince Casper he has his own superpowers. This, of course, involves Superman doing a lot of tricks, moving really fast, and of course using his breath to push Casper around like he's flying. Now, something he has done multiple times to people over the course of this comic. So now Casper A has confidence, and B actually believes he's Superman, and people are kind of interested in him for that. But where the story goes is a type of story I quite like. And it becomes more of a story in superhero comics, especially when Marvel comes about, a much more complex character once you do this. But this is your sort of Spider-Man, the things, why you wouldn't want to be a superhero, like what the downside is of being, say, Superman, which is not what Superman is. You don't really want to tell stories about why it sucks to be Superman. You can, but that's not really like why he exists. That's why kind of Spider-Man exists, because it kind of sucks to be Spider-Man. With great power comes great responsibility. No matter how bad things are getting, he is motivated to do good because he has to do good. And I always really like that idea. It hits me in such a way that I can't quite describe, but I love the idea of why you wouldn't want to be such a person. And it gets into essentially the danger of it all. His girlfriend doesn't like him using these powers. It seems dangerous to be around him, which is why he sort of gives up the powers. They go away and she agrees to marry him. And that's the resolution of the story. That is, one of the reasons relationships doesn't work with Spider-Man. But if we're getting into me, and this is completely a me-centric thing, it's not really a hit against the comic and what it's trying to do or what you would do with Superman. To me, why you wouldn't want to be Superman is less the danger of it and more the how do you have a relationship with someone who is constantly going out there. Due to his super speed and flight, he can go deal with any problem. And the fact is, if you're, say, trying to have a nice dinner and he can basically stop or fight anything that's happening in the world at any given time, well, is he going to be able to stay around for that dinner? It feels almost next to impossible to be in a relationship with said Superman. And part of being in a relationship with someone is being selfish about your time with that person. You marry someone, you are admitting you want to spend most of your time and the rest of your life with that person. It is a selfish thing to do. Of course, that's an awful way to put it, but there is a selfishness to it all, and you can't do that when you're Superman. Everything else has to come before your friends, family, and significant others. And that's what I would have liked to see more of if I was going through the story. The danger of it is fine. I just don't feel like that's specifically tackling why it would suck to be Superman. But I like this story. I had way more to talk about in this issue than I have the last 2 or 3 stories I've covered. Okay, that is it from Superman 85, the weakling who became Superman. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, hit the bell icon to get notification when a new video goes up. I do this Monday through Friday, but Fridays is Bat Friday, where I cover a Batman story in either Detective Comics or Batman. And until next time, let's ponder the question, whatever did happen to the Man of Tomorrow? And why didn't this dude ever build a robot for good? I mean, you could build an army of Superman robots, and that would give Superman some time to have a relationship. Okay, have a great day.